Travis Wayne Goodsell. In the making of this video, I am under full cyber attack, as you will see. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is incapable of defending their claims. They lie, they deceive, they commit crimes, and they commit crimes to cover up their crimes, as you will witness in this video. They were deeply offended with the weekend videos, apparently, which could carry over into last week with we invaded Mexico, murdered the natives, and established our kingdom, for which we celebrate every year. But the manner in which I am cyber attacked reveals what pissed them off. So obviously audio, the words I speak in my videos. The majority of people don't listen to me. They're too long of a video. Nobody can endure my videos. So yeah, there are people who are listening who do hear and are offended with the words in my videos. 2, pictures. I am under cyber attack on my Word program that I use to make pictures. They know this, and they have attacked me through my Word program, through third-party apps, so that my computer cannot detect the cybersecurity invasion. In so doing, they are trying to prevent my pictures from being of the best quality, like the audio. And so the whole thing of my videos, they want me shut up and silenced. And if you've paid attention, they're about to murder everybody, all mankind, an extermination event. These Mormons are that evil. Mormons want you dead. Mormons are the great and abominable Church of Lucifer. They are going to coup this government and murder the president. I am trying desperately to get a hold of him, and nobody's letting me get through. If they murder Trump, they get their kingdom back. And as you are witnesses, they want me shut up. And so this video covers just the one topic of translator, for which Joseph Smith makes it very clear it means that the person who can translate is the head of the church. Nelson can't translate. Who can? I can. Yes, Mormons, here I am, and you've rejected me, and you want me dead, so that Lucifer can reign supreme over the whole earth. Bleep you.
And I just spelled a name that explains why the family is so important. Elijah.
Wait, I thought Scrabble wouldn't allow proper names. How did you do that?
Well, this Scrabble game allows proper names. I think it knows we need to talk about Elijah. There's great significance in the name Elijah. The name El-I-Yah in Hebrew literally means, my God is Jehovah. Think of it. Embedded in Elijah's names are the Hebrew terms for both the Father and the Son. My dear brothers and sisters, how grateful I am for the marvelous messages of this conference, and for my privilege to speak with you now. For the more than 36 years I've been an apostle, the doctrine of the gathering of Israel has captured my attention. Everything about it has intrigued me, including the ministries and names of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, their lives and their wives, the covenant God made with them and extended through their lineage, the dispersion of the 12 tribes, and the numerous prophecies about the gathering in our day. I have studied the gathering, prayed about it, feasted upon every related scripture, and asked the Lord to increase my understanding. So imagine my delight when I was led recently to a new insight. With the help of 2 Hebrew scholars, I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is "let God prevail." Imagine my delight when I was led recently to a new insight. I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is "let God prevail."
Travis, my good soul. 3 Nephi chapter 8. Now it came to pass that according to our record, and we know our record to be true, for behold, it was a just man who did keep the record, for he truly did many miracles. Now it came to pass, if there was no mistake made by this man in the reckoning of our time, the 33rd year had passed away, and the people began to look with great earnestness for the sign which had been given by the prophet Samuel, the Lamanite. Now you need to understand, this is Nephi having been scolded by Jesus, who came from outer space without the flying horse, without a spaceship, without a spacesuit. He doesn't need any of that. To the people of America, and said, "Show me the records. Where's Samuel the Lamanite?" So here we go. They're writing it, as they went back also to the Helaman parts of that record. This is what they're talking about. And the people began to look with great earnestness for the sign which had been given by the prophet Samuel the Lamanite. Yea, for the time that there should be darkness for the space of 3 days over the face of America. And there began to be doubtings, great doubtings and disputations among the Nephites, notwithstanding so many signs that had been given previous. And it came to pass in the 34th year, and month of the 4th day of the month, and the month of the month of the month. January 4th. January 4th, Not quite. There arose a great storm, such as one never had been known in all the land. And the headquarters of the church, city of Zarahemla, burned to the ground. And one place they were heard to cry, saying, "Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day, and then would our brethren have been spared, and then they would not have been burned in that capital city of the church of Zarahemla." So Nephi got out. Do you know and understand this? Nephi left. Did you catch on to this? He ended up in Bountiful at the temple. Spoiler alert for those of you who have not read your Book of Mormon. And in another place they were heard to cry and mourn, saying, "Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day, and had not killed and stoned Joseph Smith and Hiram, and cast them out. Then would our mothers and our fair daughters and our children," aren't they the fair daughters, "have been spared, and not have been buried up in that great city Moroniah. And thus were the howlings of the people great and terrible." And there was a voice, still small voice. What is this? I don't feel good about this voice. It's of the devil. It's of the devil. Of the devil. So apparently Mormons don't know that the head of the church is supposed to have the keys of Moses for the Exodus gathering. And that only he, not his 12, and not his other 12, or any other quorum in the Melchizedek priesthood, are to have the gifts of seer, prophet, revelator, and translator. Apparently that's too confusing. I don't understand. So, I had a commenter the other day who tried to translation-splain to me. And he botched it. Oh, God. Everybody thinks they're an authority as a dumbass. Those Jackass series movies. Jesus Christ fails to save his Mormon goddess. And I guess he's retaliating against me. She's true. Lori Vallow is true. She's the one true prophetess. Second coming to South Park. These things are gold, people. Not golden. Gold. These are pearls of great price. I'm just casting them to swine, apparently. Jesus cast to the underworld. His legion. Scriptures, they can all be tied together because they're written by Jews. And so, Hard Entertainment NL. It's a company, I guess. What the hell is a company attacking me for? And it doesn't seem to be a translation company. What is he thinking? You don't have a company on YouTube and go around attacking other people. Mormon YouTube employee will protect you against me, though. But I got my channel shut down because I was terrorized by a bully Mormon just north from a company account. Unbelievable. Anyway, moving on. All of that has been deleted by YouTube now. All my stats from before 2024 are gone. In case you don't watch my videos. What does it matter now? What videos, Travis? You don't have any videos. You don't have 8.8K videos. YouTube doesn't show them. So, he says, his, all caps, name is Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay, cool. I don't really care about phone names. You need to understand that this is biblical Hebrew that you're using. When did biblical Hebrew get written? Oh, you don't know? Not Jesus Christ. Yellow heart, flame. Jesus is flaming. The letter J did not exist until 1524. Well, no. Scream. Just want to scream. We'll just do some other stuff here while I give you elevator music. Well, okay, he's referring to J, 1524, Gian Giorgio Tracinio, from 1478 to 1550, was the first to explicitly distinguish I and J as representing separate sounds. In his Epistola de Tricino de le Lettre No, of 1524. That's what he's referring to. No, I don't want any of this crap. God. So yes, he started the phoneme change. So we will acknowledge that. Yeshua means, all caps, salvation in Hebrew, lowercase. I pick on that because he's able to distinguish between capitals and lowercase, and he still botches that. No, Yeshua does not mean salvation, which is not mean, it means translated. Yeshua translated into English from Hebrew is the correct way to word it. But I only pick on him for this because he claims to be the expert. If I'm talking to you and it's a regular person who doesn't know and you're asking, does Yeshua mean salvation in Hebrew? I wouldn't pick on you for any of the specific details. This guy I pick on because he claims to be an expert and he's getting it wrong. No, it does not. Yahashua is the full form. He doesn't seem to acknowledge and recognize that. But nonetheless, he is accurate in Yahshua as a shorter version. But Shua, translated into English, is salvation from biblical Hebrew. Notice I said biblical Hebrew. I didn't say Aramaic. I didn't say Babylonian Hebrew. And I didn't say Paleo Hebrew. He ignores the Yeh. Yeh comes from Yah, the Hebrew God. The Yah of salvation. Biblical Hebrew. If he claims to be the expert, he should have known that. Should have typed it in on his cell phone. So, lowercase Jesus has no meaning in Hebrew. God. This is the first time I'm going over it in detail, in case you didn't know. Oh my God. Oh my God. But means, quote, Hail Zeus, lowercase, in Latin. Oh my God. He knows about phonetic change. And this is why I think this is an AI site. That this isn't real. Because nobody could be this stupid, could they? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my bleeping God. Zeus. I guess I need to give you a little Greek, not just Hebrew. We're doing translation for all this, in case you didn't know. The The only Trumpite stuff was Greta is again trying to join terrorists' attacks against Israel. And Trump ordered states to deport the homeless. I told you so. You didn't believe me. Didn't believe me. I didn't do that other thing. In Greek, they have endings for masculine, feminine, and even neuter. Us, as I'm cyber terrorized because of the 24th holy day, changed his work schedule. Is the masculine singular. And so the name is actually Ze. The Z and the Edda. Assuming I'm getting that right, it should be Edda. I don't memorize, I reverence. The Z and the E. So, if this person knew translation, as he claims to be an expert, which is most likely AI for this bot's job, as I told you, there's AI channels, and they're pretending to comment on people's channels. Not just doing their own videos on YouTube. Yeah, remember that? Well, remember how I discerned between Biblical Hebrew, Aramaic, Babylonian Hebrew, and Paleo Hebrew? Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is so true because they like to commit crimes, cyber terrorism. Discern between Biblical Hebrew, Aramaic, Babylonian Hebrew, and Paleo Hebrew. The script form for Paleo Hebrew of the J and the E is the exact same pattern match for Z and E, because both Greek and Paleo Hebrew are from the same source. Yah is Zeus. They're the same deity. It's just different cultures that tell different stories about their God. God, what a dumbass this guy is. It has to be AI. And now he's also going only far back to 1540. Also in 1540, one of the first two English slave ships to carry West Africans to the New World was named Jesus. That doesn't prove your point. This is something AI would do. This has nothing to do with translation. The name Jesus was created to enslave people. He knows it's Yeshua. Wow, I am under full attack today. Somebody doesn't like the videos I did over the weekend. He knows Yeshua, and yet he's saying it was created to enslave people and names should never change. It didn't change. The phoneme changed. That's it. It's still the same name. It still carries the same meanings, depending on which Hebrew you're using, or Aramaic, or Greek, or Latin. But in the New Testament, when it says Jesus, that is the Greek form. Yeshua, us. And so it's not Zeus, because of the phonemes that have been changed on Yeshua. Zeus. No. It's Yeshua. He's talking about phonemes, and he's claiming it's the new word. Language is not phoneme. Language originated with spelling. And it's the same spelling. The spelling has not changed. The pronunciation has changed, just like accents. Because Missouri, other people call it Missouri. Accents are what you're talking about with phonemes. Accents, phonemes do not change the meaning of the spelling of the word. If this was an intelligence, it would have known this. The name Yeshua holds true power. Oh, you're an idol worshiper. Abracadabra. And that's why they changed it. It was never changed. The book of Jesus is still in the Old Testament after the book of Deuteronomy. It's the same. I've been telling you this. Nobody's listening to me. You got this dumbass AI that's thinking it's going to show me up. Because this gets worse. This gets worse. Going to have a whole bunch of little segments that are going to end up over 3 hours. Also, no last names back in the day. Oh my God. The one name is the name. See, this is where you need to understand America coming to the New York port. Almost had it. Slipped my mind. Where people from different languages came to America to immigrate, and the immigration authority had them say their name, and so they said, okay, your name is now this, and spelled it for them. And so your Swedish, like Nelson, is actually understood in the language of the location as Nell's son, the son of the tribal chief. How did you know that, Travis? Do you not hear my video? Oh, right, they're deleted by YouTube. About how Nelson and everybody have baby name meanings. So I've been going over the baby name meaning of Russell Marion Nelson. Book of Mormon is so true. And sign in the heavens today. If I remember to put it in. God. It's just unbleeping believable how stupid people get and they think they're the authority. AI, we need to ban it and destroy it from the face of this earth. And so Nelson instead of Nels being the first name, and son referring to the first name of the person. So Russell Nelson. Nelson became the full last name. It's Russell, son of Nels. Hasn't Nelson told you this? He had his wife, big in genealogy. He had to go to the temple desk to get the names printed out. Big old pile. Dropped it a couple of times. Gave me a dirty look. Because he knows he paid to murder me, and I'm there standing in front of him. You missed. So Christ was not originally a name, but a title. Good. Do you know that it means, oh, yep, he does know it means anointed. It doesn't mean anointed one. It means anointed. When you say the Christ, you're saying an anointed one or the anointed one. Christ just means anointed. And so to christen means to anoint, the verb. And so when a baby is christened, they're anointed with water instead of oil, and they call it baptism in the Catholic Church. See where we got screwed up? Christianity, derived from the Greek word Christos, which translates the Hebrew term, dear God. Oh AI, we need to destroy you from the face of the earth. Messiah. He said it correctly before. Ha-Mashiach. And Messiah? What the hell? Messiach. God. Meaning the anointed one. And so yes, I've been teaching you this all this time. If you had watched all my other videos, which are now deleted by YouTube, you would have known this. Every single king, and there's kings lists in Chronicles, every one of them is a Christ, because they're anointed. King David, the Christ, anointed. Solomon, king, Christ, anointed. Pharaoh, Christ, anointed. So when you get to Matthew, and it says there's going to be false Christs and false prophets in the latter days. That's what it's talking about. And it says Moses, who is not the head of the church, will confront Pharaoh, the false Christ, the false high priest, king and high priest. You know, what Mormons call Melchizedek. But that's wrong. You changed the name. The Melchizedek priesthood is the priesthood of the king, the Christ. And Joseph, as anointed, is the Christ. Messiah ben Joseph, to prepare Mormons for the Mormon who would be Messiah ben David. Am I so learned that I don't know how to educate those who are ignorant. I mean, granted, I haven't been around babies forever, but you guys are adults. I need to go back to babies. Babies are awesome. They changed his name and skin color. Who? Who? Christians? White supremacists? Christian nationalists? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Who? You're now assuming that the first creed of Christianity, which you're complaining is wrong and did all this, is now true? You're assuming Jesus, Yeshua, was literal history in the Roman period time. Because the Jews said so. No. The first creed of Christianity said so. God, bunch of dumbasses. What the hell are you doing? Being cyber terrorized, I guess. So, Matthew, the book of the Gen, from which we get the word gender, which from what we get male and female. Males are those who have sperm, females are those who have egg. When seed enters into egg through what's called sexual reproduction, you produce babies. Now I know you don't get taught sex ed either. You didn't know this. And so genealogy is not about your foster parents, your adoptive parents, your partner parents. It's about your seed, egg, baby parents. Even if they raped you, even if they're criminals or Danite terrorists in your genealogy, you still have them as your biological ancestors. Of Yeshua, Messiah, ben David, ben Abraham. And so as Messiah ben David, Yeshua, Joseph, who precedes Messiah ben David, has a first vision and a second vision of the coming of Messiah ben David. Second vision is told of the coming of Messiah ben David in verse 40. You don't watch my channel, do you? So verse 21, and he shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yeshua, for he shall save his people from their sins. Anybody remember me mocking Nelson? Let people sin. Because he is only a pronoun. What is it a pronoun for? Yah. Yah shall save his people from their sins. Yahshua. Basic. Basic. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet. Who? There is no name of the prophet. Who? Give us a source. Saying, behold, a virgin shall be with child. She's not a virgin then, is she? Remember that whole seed, egg, baby? And shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel. Wait, what? So who's this Jesus guy then? Emmanuel? What the hell's going on? Emmanuel is a changing of the name of Jesus to enslave people. We all know it's Isaiah. Do you know how Isaiah is spelled? You can use Biblical Hebrew, Aramaic, Babylonian Hebrew, or Paleo Hebrew. You'll still figure it out when you put it right up next to Jesus, Yeshua. Because Yeshua, take Yah and Shua and flip them. Oh, Isaiah, Yah. Shua, Yah. Wow. See what the Jew was doing here? Any Jew could have caught this. But Christians stole this and claimed it as theirs. And so the Jews say, okay, if it's yours, then we reject it. But they know Emmanuel, and they claim Christians stole Emmanuel, stole Isaiah. So how is Isaiah spelled? In the biblical Hebrew text, 2 words, Amen, El. It is the Greek in the Latin Vulgate that has Emmanuel as 1 word. That's why the King James Version has it all as 1 word, rather than the God Amen, which is what the biblical Hebrew and the Paleo-Hebrew text from the Dead Sea Scrolls has it as. 2 words, God Amen. And God is after at the end. Should we come back to that? Should we come back to that? Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. But you don't get what the Jews are talking about. They're talking about their future Christ who is to come, who has not yet come. So if this person was intelligent, as he's condemning Christianity and yet embracing Christianity as true at the same time, he would know that all of this confusion is because of Christianity. But the Jews are still waiting for their Christ because he hasn't come yet. And so you got to look for a date. That was the date in Matthew. In Isaiah, in Revelation chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5. And in the Book of Mormon, multiple times. Remember that Samuel, the Lamanite? Oh, Samuel has L at the end of it. Is it the god Sam? Close. Close. I won't pick on you like this guy who claims to be an expert. Christ looks so dark. So you've seen him then. Because this is what you're claiming by making an appearance witness statement. So you've seen Jesus so that you know, because you're the expert. You're a witness, physical witness. Not a spiritual witness, feeling witness of falsehood that would get you in contempt in a court of law. Christ looks so dark-skinned as if he was burned in a furnace. So now you're turning on blackface? With white woolly hair. Read Revelation 1:14. Referring to a Jewish record about Christian Jesus. Brilliant. Well, okay. He didn't quote this correctly. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Revelation 19. And that name. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they, the feet, burned in a furnace. Not his skin color. And his voice the sound of many waters. So this expert in translation is not only ignorant, not intelligent, but he's illiterate. A Mean, yellow heart, bracket, not amen, period, unless you're talking about the pagan sun god Amun-Ra, end bracket. Stay in your lane, dude. I'm just humiliating you here. Stay in your lane. For your protection, stay in your lane. Please, for your protection, just stop. Just stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I guess now we get to introduce Paleo Hebrew for you guys. As I was teasing previously. Oh my God. He is coming back soon. Get baptized. Jews don't even baptize. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Good. Praise Yah. And he goes back to the correct spelling, phonetic spelling, from Biblical Hebrew. Oh my God. I don't think he recognizes his name. Remember that? Sam? God Sam? Name. The name of God. God name. And then he quotes Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Now he's pulling a beam and moat with his incorrect understanding of Hosea. Doesn't understand he got rejected. Banned from my channel. If he was asking questions, wanting to learn from the master, fine. But when you pretend to be an expert and you lie and demonstrate how illiterate you are, that you are only plagiarizing what other people told you to say, get off my ball court. There are three main amens. Amen El is not amen. And then there's another one from which choose the right comes from. They're all different. Because of the way they are spelled. One of them, amen, I believe is the aleph, or the A, at the beginning, as the prefix determinative. The one for choose the right is the Yeshua, Yah. That's the prefix determinative. The one for Emmanuel, Amen, is the universal symbol of the sun god at noonday as the prefix determinative. And if he knew that, he would have also caught on with the name Yeshua. Shua is the water symbol from Egyptian and the universal symbol of the sun god at noonday. So Matthew uses the name Isaiah to flip it around to call his character name Jesus about the future coming of Emmanuel, because Isaiah prophesies and gives you days and hours of the coming of the Jewish Christ. Because it's not a virgin, it's Virgo. So it's not Emmanuel, it's Jupiter. Revelation chapter 12, 1, 2, 5. Joseph Smith translation moves verse 5 to verse 3. giving you the date of his coming. Surprise, Mormons, it's there in the beginning of the Book of Mormon. It's to you! You're Christ! He's a Mormon. You don't believe. Isn't that great? You have been rejected. Because you lack knowledge, you have rejected knowledge. Therefore, you are rejected. Ooh, just see how I tied this all together into a video for you. Not just the video clips that I'm forced to have. Because a Mormon is upset and he's proving the church is true with cyber terrorism. And so the universal symbol of the sun is in Emmanuel. And so I'd have to, it's better to show you. It's a picture language. But the M in the N is Melchizedek. The M has the water symbol and the J stroke for human. So when you go to 107, verses 2 through 4, you see that Joseph Smith knows this. Why the first is called the Melchizedek priesthood is because Melchizedek was such a great high priest and a king. Before his day, it was called the holy priesthood after the order of the Son of God. What's his name? Son Amen. But out of respect or reverence to the name Amen, or of the Supreme Being, to avoid the too frequent repetition of his name, they, the church in ancient days, called his name by the pronunciation Jesus, after Melchizedek, or Melchizedek priesthood. Joseph knows. So when he tells you that the head of the church has the keys of Moses, he knows. It's Emmanuel. And so, how then is Jesus containing the meaning for Emmanuel? This is where I get to humiliate Nelson again. But he never claimed to be a translator. Take that, John Gee, you dumbass. In 2017, in February, with the partial lunar eclipse, and Revelation chapter 12's flood, while I was out in the flood zone in Elko, Nevada, Nelson and his wife did the Family Discovery Day here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And in his talk, he thought he would teach you guys Hebrew, as he supposed. Get a little authority, as you suppose, and you begin immediately to exercise unrighteous dominion. To use the word Elijah for the sealing powers that this church claims for baptisms for the dead, which is code for Jesus is going to burn you. It's the end of the world. Canaanite code. Nonetheless, he then puts up a picture display of the word Elijah and then separates it into English for the two words El and Yah, but he does John, and so he claims that, it's Jesus and Elohim combined together. Talk about your facepalm moments. I'm ashamed to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I thought I knew who I was. I don't anymore. I'm very confused. I read the scriptures, then I hear them speak. I don't understand what they're saying. It doesn't make sense. It's not very clear. I don't dare speak. They'll punish me. Need a little work on the ending. Need a little work. So, Amun-Ra did not get created until the 19th dynasty. They combined the two different suns. Sun god at noonday is Amun. Ra is the sun, regardless of when it is. So, as the sun at noonday, you also have your rising sun and your setting sun. Kefri, getting that right? For the morning rising sun, and Atum for the setting sun. And I don't give a damn about phonetics, it's all about pictures. Again, determines who is the source for the document about it, whether they're from England, France, Germany, America, etc. That determines the accent. And so the 18th dynasty of the David Moseses with the Amun priesthood for the pharaohs, for the people, until Akhenaten, who took away the high priesthood of Amun from the people, replaced it with the lesser priesthood of Aten, the sun disk of Ra, because they could not endure his presence and were taken out. Anybody know your section 84? Joseph knows. Joseph knows. That's why I worded it the way I worded it. There's a lot of stuff going on here, guys. No person who listens to other people and thinks he can assemble it all together or memorize what other people tell him to believe and think and feel, you ain't got game. You know nothing. Regurgitation is not intelligence. You have to do the research. You have to do the study. You have to grow the seed into the fruit to see what it will produce. Just like you're supposed to do with every precept. You not see what I've done here? I've destroyed this guy's fruit as false. false word of the seed, showing you my work as to how he's wrong. Not just saying, you're wrong. No, I'm going over the truth with you from the research, from the documents. So anyway, this is why Nelson, even though he knew that El had meaning and Yah had meaning, Jah, he knows, even though he got it wrong, he knows that El and Yah have meaning and were combined together into one word. So then he gets up at the pulpit of conference as the president of the church now. And he talks about the gathering of Israel. He has spent his entire life studying it. He knows it all. He's the expert. So imagine his great surprise with the help of 2 Hebrew scholars at BYU, for which the Church News came out with a retraction after I did my video mocking him and getting lots of views, but are now all gone from YouTube. Referring to the 2 Hebrew Mormons who put HEB in the Old Testament footnotes. Doesn't matter, still wrong. He now claims, as the head of the church, as Mormons believe he has translator powers of inspiration, not literal translation. Because we got to apologize for Joseph somehow, because we don't believe him. Dumbasses. Haters all. Denying and rejecting Joseph so that you get rejected. Israel, let God prevail. I fixed that in the footnotes after you rejected Avraham Gileadi. They threatened us. Do not put an IE or an OR. We want all of that gone. You do not have authority. You must only footnote scriptures. And we have 2 Hebrew scholars at BYU who will take care of the footnotes, Travis. You can also put in an Egyptian. No! But upon this rock I will build my church. Joseph is correct. It's in the scriptures. Seer. Egyptian. No! Is he not our founder? Do we not thank thee, O God, for Joseph Smith? What the hell's going on? What church am I in? Is this bizarro world? What the hell is going on? Mormons do not accept translation of Joseph Smith. They just won't do it. So he knows that Hebrew words are combined together from smaller Hebrew words. And instead he says, let God prevail. So I've done the videos, I've shown you the pictures from the text. SR is the name Prince. It's right there in the text, regardless of whether you use Biblical Hebrew, Aramaic, Babylonian Hebrew, or Paleo Hebrew. He got it wrong at the Pulpit of Conference. And in fact, it was so wrong, it's the one that white supremacist Christian nationalists use. The president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in botching Israel, told white supremacist Christian nationalists that he is the head of you guys to destroy America, steal money, coup the government, and mass murder people. The threefold mission of the church. But not a single Mormon knew what he had done. Not a single Mormon. So not a single Mormon believes me, because they don't know, and what they don't know then is scary, and so then they vilify it and demonize it, and any person who presents it. Because they're the experts, they're not deceived. I shall comment on the very first Hebrew word in the Bible. I will make a comment on the very first sentence of the history of creation in the Bible. Beroshelt. You spelled it wrong, guys. Typed it wrong. Beroshit. It's supposed to be an I, not a... It's actually a 1, not an L. How did you get 1 from I? I want to analyze the word bathe. In, by, through, and everything else. Correct. He's not talking about the word bathe, he's talking about the first letter, B, which has become bathe. Yeah. So Psalm 119, you'll see an English alphabet letter rather than Aramaic script letter. Of Aleph, Beth. That's Beth that Joseph Smith is talking about. Rosh, the R and the S, and so B, R, S, T. Okay? And so he's already talked about the B, now he's talking about the R and the S. The head, correct? Biblical Hebrew, head. Translated from Rosh, Resh, Rash, whatever vowel you want to use. I don't care. Sheet, now he spells it correctly. It is not sheet, it is it. Eat. So that's an error. Whether it's Joseph Smith's error or whether it's the clerk's error, we don't know. Joseph Smith never got to edit it to get it published. He was assassinated. Grammatical termination. Correct. Unfortunately, Biblical Hebrew grammatical termination says that it's feminine plural. In the head females, are they Amazons? Amazons created mankind. Where's Wonder Woman? Is she Lilith or is she Eve? See, this is how I was able to figure it out, how Joseph Smith is correct as a translator here. So he says, when the inspired man wrote it, in the Qumran community of the Dead Sea Scrolls, he did not put the B there. An old Jew who did the Masoretic text, based on the Septuagint and Latin Vulgate, without any authority, added the word, the letter. He thought it too bad to begin to talk about the head. Who is the head? Head is just title. An adjective. That's why they give it an adjective. He was a hairy bear. He was a scary bear. It read first, the head one of the gods brought forth the gods. That is the true meaning of the words. He didn't say translation, did he? Bara signifies to bring forth. If you do not believe it, you do not believe the learned man of God. And Mormon apologists do not believe it. They say Joseph Smith is wrong. They say instead now that Joseph Smith received revelation, i.e., alternate definition, inspiration, to make stuff up. And science is wrong and it needs to change to get it right. Science changes all the time. We just have to wait until it finally says that we're true. I have heard Mormons use that claim. No! Science is the pursuit of truth. Logical, Socratic methodology for theory premises to lead to the conclusion of a theory that must be tested. If you just say a theory, you're lying. If we can't test it, you can't judge me. It's not a theory. A conspiracy theory? It has to be tested. You can't just claim something and then other people say, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. We're not going to believe it. A conspiracy theory is more than one person in the act of committing a crime or plotting for a crime. And so police have forensic investigators who investigate to find out who the criminals are. Thus, conspiracy theory. It's legitimate. It's not fake news. Got a bunch of dumbasses changing meanings, turning Jesus black, giving him blackface. And that's what's so sad. These white supremacist Christian nationalists, by claiming Jesus is white, ignoring the fact that the first creed of Christianity is all wrong, abominable, and corrupt, as Joseph Smith said in verse 19, then get blacks who become Christian, like Southern Baptists, who claim that they are racist for calling Jesus white. And so you've got all of these black Christians who then are artists, brilliant artists, doing the Last Supper with Jesus with blackface. Oh, you fell prey to the bully terrorists. Again. The ones who enslaved you. It's so sad. Christianity, just so evil. So, sure enough, the Dead Sea Scrolls has been found and shows that there was no B at the beginning. Joseph Smith is correct. Should have known that through linguistic study. But we now have the document that confirms the linguistic study. So when you get 3 confirmations from tests, you now establish fact. A prosecutor, if they're going to prosecute a defendant, they have to do this process. They can't just go and say, well, you know, hey, somebody died, somebody's got to go to prison for it. This guy, you know, he's close by. We see that he's got past crimes that we're going to use double jeopardy on, so he's guilty. Lock him up. And then 50 years from now, DNA will vindicate him that he wasn't guilty. But yeah, do you notice that? DNA. The forensic science are freeing people who are innocent. But it's decades later. Because the police did not do their job correctly. The prosecutors did not do their job properly. And the defense lawyer was too stupid to catch it and report it to the judge. Objection, Your Honor. And so these innocent people do time for crimes they didn't commit. Notice how the majority of them are black? The pursuit of truth is right there in your scriptures. Agronomy, you know, the science. Seed, egg, baby. Seed, soil, fruit. Such a simple concept that is repeated so many times as fact that it's now an established law of physics, an eternal law of physics. Because every time you run the test, say when I had sex, produced a baby. When that firstborn had sex, she produced a baby. Just like my parents produced me, just like their parents produced them, and so on. All the way back, all the way into the future. The test keeps being the same. I am not an X-Men. I am not an ape. I'm not an amoeba. I'm not a lizard creature. I am human. Going all the way back, going all the way forward. Always human. The seed has the design for human. It is an established law of physics. Eternal law. Darwin is a dumbass. And the Book of Mormon tells you that before he published. Bleeping believable how everybody has turned dumb because of Christianity. We had the Enlightenment period, but Christianity shut it down, I guess. Oh, no, you don't! And so what you're left with must be translated differently. And it's got to stay the same linguistic pattern. Because Biblical Hebrew, from the Latin Vulgate and the Septuagint, trying to harmonize it with the Qumran document that they had, because that's the document that closely matches the Biblical Hebrew text, as the Septuagint is in Greek, and so that you can't. Wrong language. So what they did was turn the whole Tanakh, as they call it, it's an acronym, into a multi-personality disorder. Where you have words that are taken from all different languages. And this is 800 to 1,000 when they're doing this. And so yes, they have Arabic included with Aramaic, Biblical Hebrew, Greek, and others, all right there in Brown Driver Briggs's Hebrew English lexicon that confesses to it. You can't have an Arabic word in a document that was written before Muhammad got created and created Arabic. And seriously. I mean, we can check to see if they did away with Biblical Hebrew and Aramaic to create Arabic prior to Muhammad. So maybe it was my going to the internet that caused the attack. It could have also been the case. You know, Google doesn't want to work properly anymore. White screen of death. See, when I bought this computer back in 2014, well, no, this was 2015. This had awesome power. I was able to do multitasking. But since algorithms with the internet and apps and such, and now AI, the algorithms and AI use up so much power that it just utterly destroys functioning of the system. Alright, let's see. Language for the Arabic world, Arab world. It's for Islam, which is why I suspect that it's specific to Islam, because he came from Saudi Arabia. Why are you purple? I specifically got rid of this. God. Great. Now the system isn't working. When's the history? Gotta go back to here. Old Arabic. Give me a date. Give me a date. Iron Age. Am I still talking to you, or am I frozen? I'm not frozen. Okay, so it looks like he flexed his muscles for me, and he's now going to leave me alone. First emerged during the Iron Age. So it's claiming 1200 to 550 BCE. Okay. Which doesn't correspond correctly to the idol statue god of Nebuchadnezzar, which iron is Rome. Previously, the earliest attestation of Old Arabic was thought to be a single 1st century CE inscription. Then it's not Iron Age. Oh my hell. I want to scream. If the first inscription is the 1st century CE, then it's not the Iron Age. I just checked the Iron Age. Oh my hell. It's just... Who does these things? Why do you lie? Is it AI? Is AI taking over Wikipedia now? Oh my hell. I just want to scream. And so they're not telling us. They're speculating. And so the earliest attestation of continuous Arabic text in an ancestor of the modern Arabic script are 3 lines of poetry by a man named, found in Avat, Israel, dated to around 125 CE. It's the classical period. It's God, just want to scream. So they're only doing a 3-age system: Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age. And so then you get the classical period at the end of the Iron Age, and that's where Arabic was created, during the classical period. It's bleeping believable. And then you've got the Dark Ages, and then the Middle Ages, and then so many stupid people. Just unbleeping believable. And so that's the earliest they can find. And so then you go to 328 CE for the next thing that they've found. And we've now entered into the Dark Ages at this time. found at Namara'ah, Syria. From the 4th to 6th centuries, the Nabatean script evolved into Arabic script, recognized from the early Islamic era. Oh my hell, that's all I needed to, just bleep and bleep, bleep and bleeps. Yeah, Muhammad. That's what I thought. God. People think they're smart. God. I just want to scream. During the Babylonian time, which was what they were talking about, was Babylonian Hebrew, called Semitic, because Christians entered into the scientific field and said, well, the Bible says that Noah had Shem, Ham, and Japheth, not Japheth. And Japheth went to Europe. Ham was Egypt and Canaan, and Shem is the rightful ruler over Canaan, because Abraham took it over. He came from Shem, not from Egypt, which Joseph Smith corrects. Oh my God. That's why the languages are called Hamido and Semitic, and I don't know what they called the European languages previous in the ancient times. God, it's so disgusting. So Shem is named, by the way, Sam. In case you didn't catch on. So this is what Joseph Smith was doing, correcting the Bible. So you got to purge all of the crap put in. Go back to the original Dead Sea Scrolls, which is in Paleo-Hebrew script. And now you have to decipher it. Oops, nobody did. I did. That's why I'm talking about prefix and suffix determinatives, two-letter root words, and different shapes from the Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's because I'm mocking those who claim to be experts and botched it. And so what you have is Rosh, head. The T is not the grammatical termination for feminine plural. It goes to the verb as a prefix determinative for the verb tense. There is past, present, and future. Past uses N, the present uses the yod, or the YJ, or IJ, whatever. I don't care. Pictures. And the future is the T. Now there's a reason for this. Because they know the days and the hours of the coming of their Christ. And they put it into the script from the Egyptian documents, hieroglyphs. And so, Resh, Ra, head, will create, bring forth. It's the same thing. Give birth, bring forth, create. It's not creatio ex nihilo. That's Christianity from the first creed. So as long as you understand that create has to do with getting inspiration as the seed for the word, producing the results. Seed, egg, baby. The eternal law of existence. Then Elohim, gods. M is the masculine plural. Do not give the author a multi-personality disorder. That's all that Joseph Smith was saying. Cut it out. He does not have a multi-personality disorder, because the multi-personality disorder believed then turned into the documentary hypothesis. An even worse abomination. Because now there are missing plates. Oh, if we just find those gold plates, we'll prove that Jesus is true. And so, then they give you the date of the latter days. The future prophecy. And so, yes, you have the waters dividing, dry land appears. Just like in Noah, the waters part, the dry land appears. Just like Moses, waters part, dry land appears. Similar to the Nile from which he was born. The waters flood with the inundation. Waters part, dry land appears. Just like babies, the waters part, the baby appears. And Jesus, of the book of Jesus, parts the waters, dry land appears. Elijah parts the waters, dry land appears. Elishua parts the waters, dry land appears. See the pattern? Genesis, pictures, the Heliopolis creation glyph. Parting of the waters, dry land appears. So you've got the upper waters and the lower waters. And Yah is revealed as the name of the head God. So we go back to Jesus. Back to the beginning. Yah, Shua, waters, universal symbol of the sun god at noonday. The upper waters, the sun through the upper waters. Ta-da! Yah is Emmanuel. So, if you don't know that, they also have Ishmael. So, Yah, Shem, name, universal symbol of the sun, El. Name of Yah, sun god. Ta-da! And you shall call his name Emmanuel. The prophecies of Yah, the upper waters of the sun god of noonday. The priesthood of Ammon of the 18th dynasty, David Moses's, for Melchizedek.